Today I'm going to be talking about It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I got this via Amazon Prime. I had pre-ordered it and I was holding off on making this video just so I can include the shot of the book. However, I was lucky enough to get an advanced reader's copy from Simon & Schuster. I was able to read the book a few weeks ago. It Ends With Us is probably going to be a really hard book for me to review because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. Like, this is the first time that I don't even want to summarize the book. I was actually introduced to Colleen Hoover via BookTube. The first Colleen Hoover book I read was November 9th, which I absolutely loved. From there, I read Ugly Love, and then a coworker recommended Maybe Someday. When I asked her what Maybe Someday was about, she said, "Just read it." So I did. And that's kind of what I'm going to tell you guys here. Just read it. If you really want to know the book synopsis, you're welcome to go look it up on Amazon or on Goodreads. It's available in plenty of different places. If you want to go into the bookstore and read it on the back of the book, that's fine, but I don't think it does it justice. And I think if you go in blind with absolutely no expectations, this book is going to blow your mind. This book takes place from Lily's perspective, so it is written in first person. The other two main characters in the book are Ryle and Atlas. Now I'm making sure to say Ryle's name because I read this entire book calling him Riley, which is not accurate. It's really hard to go back and see his name now and not say Riley to myself, but his name is Ryle, like Kyle with an R. So I've been smiling and laughing up until this point, but it's time to get serious now because this is a serious book. There will be some lighthearted and some funny moments, but for the most part, it's pretty heavy. Colleen Hoover herself has even stated that this is the first time that she really gave her audience a piece of herself. I'm actually a pretty sensitive person, so I like going through the entire range of emotions when I'm reading something or when I'm watching a movie, whether it be angry or sad or happy or depressed. If it makes me feel, to me, that's worth watching, it's worth consuming, it's worth reading, and not everybody feels like that, so that might be something to take into consideration. As I was reading the story, there were a few places that made me tear up where I had to take a moment to keep going, but it was when I got to the end and I read the author note that I literally started bawling. I was laying in bed, I had just finished it, and I started sobbing and crying. My husband was next to me and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I just finished this book and oh my god, it's so sad." And I lost it. The author's note already suggests that you not read it prior to reading the story because it does contain spoilers. So I do agree, don't read that before you read the story. Read the story, then read the author's note, and you're going to make those connections that Colleen lays out for you. She's going to tell you what parts were true, what parts happened to her, and she's really going to connect that story to her life, and it's just wow. What It Ends With Us does really well is put you in the shoes of Lily. You feel like you're her. You go through the entire range of emotions that she goes through. You have to make those tough decisions that she has to make. What makes this book such a big deal is that Colleen Hoover shows you a perspective of a particular life experience that people are not used to seeing. It's something that's often judged, and I realize I'm being really vague and general here, and it's just because I really don't want to give anything away, and I think you'll thank me for it later. While it is a work of fiction, it still has a lot of naked truth to it. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's all the things you've already come to expect of Colleen Hoover, but so much more. It Ends With Us was a page turner, and I found myself reading as often as possible. As a matter of fact, I was reading on my way to work many times while my husband was driving me to work. I was reading anytime I had a small break, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it while I was reading it until I was done. If you have not already picked up It Ends With Us, please go ahead and get it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you enjoyed this somewhat vague review of It Ends With Us, please go ahead and like and subscribe below. If you've already purchased and read this book, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys on this. It was really good, guys. Pick it up.